Bluff City
I'm good
NIL
now.
is an official partner of Coaching for Literacy, a nonprofit organization using the power of sports to impact childhood literacy. You can read more about them at coachingforliteracy.org or follow them on social media at Coaching for Literacy. Your subscription and donation of Bluff City Media or NIL is 100% tax deductible because of our partnership together. So we thank you for supporting Memphis Tigers student athletes and helping promote the monumental cause of childhood literacy.
Welcome to Tigers Untapped, a Bluff City Media podcast. Stepping up to the microphone are your hosts, TJ Willis and Trey Lasley. Pull up your chair, grab your favorite brew, and enjoy the conversation. Now, let's get to the show.
What up, TJ? What's up?
Man, I think we set the goal of 2-0 every week.
Yeah, we didn't hit it.
And we didn't hit it. So it's been a good week, but not a great week, you know?
But not to jump right into Houston because we'll talk about UCF first. I don't think there's not good wins, but if there ever, good losses. But if there ever was one, yesterday was one.
So wait, you don't think there are bad losses? Good losses?
I don't.
There's definitely good losses. There's
like
bad losses and there's good losses.
I don't like a good loss. Just win everything. Losing's not the objective. Anyway, before we do it, what do we have tonight? I have to cup it with my hand so that you guys can see it with the background. The bomb.
We're working with the good folks over at Wiseacre. This is Tiny Bomb. This is I think one of the OGs of Memphis breweries. I would say this is one of the first ones around, right?
Oh, it is the OG, the American Pilsner that is from the good folks at Wiseacre. A classic, a staple, if you will. A go-to for me.
That was
the
good.
First time we've had this.
Oh, absolutely not. Had this many times. I don't think I've ever actually really honed in on it though. So this is nice to have that kind of first up little run with it.
What do you mean honed in on it? You just pound them?
Yeah,
never really
taken absolutely.
In the. Never enjoyed the.
No, I've never focused on it. I normally just crush them and then call it a day. But I've never looked at the can.
Wet the palate and let it sit for a second.
I've never really paid attention to the can, honestly. I get that there's a bomb on it, but that's really about it.
I've never really paid attention to it either.
Exactly. And this one is one of the OGs
until today that there was a bomb.
Yeah. So
who would have known? All right, Tej, we were in the house on Thursday for a wild ending.
Yeah.
Just a weird game all in all. It felt like we were about to run them out of the gym. You were up, 19-4? They had 1 point for 7 minutes. KD came out hot, firing away, knocking down his jumper. First basket made him the career points leading point scorer in the American. So shout out to KD for that. Every point he scores from here on out is just increasing the record there. So we'll see how high he can get, but started out looking good.
How much higher that would be had he not spent that time at TCU?
Oh, yeah. If he had been in the American all along, 5 years of playing, that may not get broken.
Well, same with Tyler, right?
Yeah, we're coming up on the end of the COVID extra year, right? We're about to go back to guys only getting 4 years. So that's a record that
right.
If you'd had 5 full, it might have stayed.
That's wild.
It might still stay given the direction of the conference after this year. We'll see, unless a Memphis Tiger can overtake it. But no, it started out, seemed like a good game. Felt like you're going to run them off the floor.
Yep.
And then with 4 minutes left in the half, Katie goes down, and we could hear him from where we were sitting screaming.
Yeah, screaming.
I mean, I legitimately thought his and our entire college basketball season was over at that point in time. He was laying in Kenny's lap and screaming as loud as possible.
He was pretty close to Kenny. I'm sure Kenny actually got a lot of still shots of him screaming. And then he realized, damn, that's probably in the time.
I hope that Kenny didn't have the camera up in his face while that was happening. I will say, I didn't realize that live game action, I thought it was on the land, right? I thought he landed somehow. And it was when he took off in the lane. Which kind of makes sense because he did throw up a little bit of a crazy shot. So it's like he rolled his ankle and he's just getting rid of the ball. But
yeah,
you know what? You don't see him. He doesn't wear any sort of brace. For as bad as this dude's ankles are, I mean, surely I know he probably tapes them up. I'm sure he gets them all sorts of stuff done. But I mean, if you're just driving the lane and you're turning an ankle without stepping on anybody or anything, like, let's brace this man up. Get him some of those Steph Curry braces.
Yeah, especially for a guy that I think Penny has stated has rolled his ankle 3 or 4 times this season already. I guess maybe not all this season. Somewhere some preseason stuff.
They legitimately said preseason he sprained his ankles 4 times.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm not sure that that's normal. And then he said, like, 4 times. Yeah. I played a lot of basketball in life. I may have had 4 total sprained ankles in all of my basketball playing days.
Maybe he's just not comfortable in them.
In his ankles?
I don't know. Well, comfortable in braces.
He's probably not comfortable in his ankles either. If he's turning them that much.
I'm trying to look at this picture and to see what shoes he's wearing. I can't get a read on him.
I don't know, but I will also say
PGs
yesterday
maybe?
he went through warm-ups and didn't have any sort of brace or anything. It's like, what are we doing?
You'd think he may learn. DT or somebody help him out over there. Get him some braces. Wrap him up.
I'm sure they're doing good stuff for him, but it may just be a comfort thing. He doesn't like the way the shoe fits.
Yeah.
Anyway, for a little while, you were able to, I think when he went out, we were up maybe 7 or 8. Ended up extending it to 13 at one point. You felt okay still. But when he went down, I mean, you're truly left without a point guard. Alex wasn't back yet. Katie's gone. It's like, I think they tried several different people. Elijah rolled with point guard. Jaden tried it. You had a little point forward with DeAndre. But we hit that 10.5-minute mark left in the second half. And TJ, we got 3 shots off. DeAndre scored at 10:23. We got a goaltending call about the midway point of that. And then our final bucket in that span was Jamaria's layup at the 7-second mark of the second half. The go-ahead bucket to win the game.
The go-ahead lefty bucket.
The go-ahead lefty over.
As if it wasn't hard enough.
First round. He's going to be first rounder, right? Hendricks?
Yeah, probably.
First rounder, contested. I will say, one, I thought the layup was wrong. I didn't think that was going in. For a second, it hung on the rim, and I was like, oh, gosh, he just missed it. 2, I'm a little bit surprised he didn't try to dunk it on his head.
That's fair.
Smart play, though. Just going up with the left, comfortable with the left, using the body, other arm, shielding. Beautiful play.
Be honest with me. Were you one of the ones yelling foul?
I was not yelling foul, and I will be honest.
I sure as hell was. I would not lie.
There were a lot of people around us yelling foul. I was not yelling foul because, to be quite honest with you, I didn't realize the shot clock was off. But I heard everybody yelling foul. I looked up. There were 17 seconds left, and I saw the shot clock wasn't on. And right when that all happened, Damari gets a hand on it, knocks it away. Shout out to J-Law, too, because he didn't just try to say it was J-Law. I was like, he didn't try to grab the ball and call timeout or anything. We know how that's worked out before. If we had gotten that ball on the ground, called a timeout, 100%, we're shooting a 3. Down 1. Guarantee it. It's happened 4 times this year already. That was the best case scenario. No foul. loose ball, J-Law tap ahead, finish the bucket. And then shout out to freaking DeAndre staying back and walling up. Down there on the other end, no foul.
You could
Freaking
tell
walled up, my guy. I thought that was going in too, or they were going to call a foul.
UCF did not think that layup was going in. When the whole thing happened, you could tell they
Our
were
layup?
they were in complete panic.
Yeah, they didn't think it was going in because they'd already stopped 15 fast breaks for us to either coming from behind and picking a pocket or coming from behind and stuffing us at the rim.
Yeah.
I thought for sure it was about to happen again.
It was definitely a crazy, well, I don't even say last 17 seconds of the game.
I can't remember a game that ended like that. Like felt like it truly came down on the wire and we won on like a last second play.
Yeah.
I mean, one that does stick out was the
I don't know, that Katie fadeaway 3 was pretty sick.
I meant in the form.
Yeah, I got you though.
It wasn't a fadeaway 3 though. You talking about a Temple?
Yeah, we shot it from behind the goal. Yeah, I guess it wasn't a 3 though.
But in the form, the one that does come to mind, it wasn't a made bucket really though, but it was the Houston game Precious's year. So 2020 here when we locked them down. Houston had the ball last 20 seconds or whatnot, and we stopped them and held them there. That felt like it. But dude, that layup, when we got that steal, that layup went in. I was running up and down the aisle. Our buddy Jonathan had his shirt off and was waiting. If you guys saw that right behind the UCF bench, that was us. Me and TJ were with him, standing on the seat, waving his shirt around. His wife didn't believe us Amber didn't believe us when we got home. And then he took his jacket off and his shirt was inside out. So at that point, she knew that we were not fibbing at all. So she also told us, Amber, that DeMario's got ice water in his veins. Would you say that was an ice water in your veins type of moment? I don't know if a layup at the buzzer is really ice water in your veins, but
it wasn't even at the buzzer. But I mean, it was clutch. I'll give him that. It's definitely not ice water. I'm not going that far yet.
To get the back tap, which he credited Alo for that. Have you heard that? Did you hear it?
Mm-mm.
Post game, he credited Alo for teaching him that back tap.
Okay.
So shout out to Alo. Even when he wasn't even when he hadn't been playing, he's helping.
Difference maker
on and off the court.
Difference maker. That's what you bring guys back for, that leadership on and off the court, right?
Oh, yeah. You think he's on the bench next year? GA?
That's a good question.
GA Alo?
I don't know. I feel like
there's sick of all these Tiger fans talking crap about him, and he's just ready to be out of here.
Yes. And I think someone would pay him to play, even if it's Turkey or Slovakia or somewhere overseas would pay him to play. I've seen worse guys.
Can we have a moment of silence for Turkey? Amidst the earthquakes last week, and TJ's bringing up Turkey.
I was just naming a random country over there that plays basketball.
That's fine.
Where did Will play? Israel?
Will?
Yeah. Or was he Turkey?
He played a couple different places. Didn't he play in Greece for, I don't know. Check out the Will Coleman show. Probably talk about it.
Shameless plug for our friend Will.
Did you say Israel? I don't know if he played in Israel.
I said Israel, yeah.
Well, all in all, it ended up being a pretty ugly game, 64-63, but they figured out a way. We only scored 20 points in the second half.
Not good. Yeah, it was not good. But you got to think, like, that's got to be so hard where everything is designed to go through KD for the most part. And when he's gone, you've got to figure out a new guy. And kind of like you touched on, they rotated several different guys in that position. I would say probably Elijah McCadden, probably the most pseudo point minutes, I feel like, in that second half. And he brought the ball up, I guess is how I should word that.
Yeah. To me, I don't know how anybody else, I feel like he handles the ball the best of who was left. Just get with the dude on his hip coming up the floor,
Yeah, he does get pickpocketed a lot, but it's hard to blame him. I don't think that's a natural position for him, right?
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's just,
I mean, it's not a
just
natural
different.
position for anybody that was left, right? And that's what makes it tough too, is like, well, we'll talk about Houston in a second, but in the middle of a game makes it much more difficult, right? It's not like they came into UCF knowing Kendrick wasn't playing and had a couple days practice or, you know, things that kind of put in place to be able to handle that. It was, hey, you've played 20 minutes almost, and now all of a sudden you just don't have a point guard anymore. So,
but shout out to McCadden, by the way. He had a great game.
He did.
The hashtag garbage man, whatever we want to call him, whatever his nickname is.
I don't even want to call him garbage because I don't want to associate him with garbage. I know what you mean.
And just cleaning up everything.
He does everything you need him to do. He has turned into the perfect role player for this team.
Yeah.
I mean, whenever you need something, more often than not, it's Elijah getting it done. Whether it's a board, whether it's a putback, he went 7 of 8 from the free throw line the other night. That was huge.
Yeah, he's just hitting free throws.
He's like a 60% free throw shooter, I think. And he was 7 of 8 the other night. Yeah, he's 62.5. Like, dude, he's all over the place. 37 minutes. Ended up with 16, 6, and 1 assist. But
that's senior leadership, man.
4 of 5 from the field, 1 of 1 from 3.
Yeah. It also helped that UCF did not hit from 3 the same as they did last time. That kind of helped us out a little bit. Horton was,
they
not
9 of 29, but what they had the first go around, like 15 or something, 16.
Something absurd, yeah.
Yeah, so it was nice to get that one back. You felt like you deserved the first one in Orlando. They probably, which I don't think they should, because we essentially led the entire game here too. Like, but given how it ended, like they probably feel like we just stole one from them. But hey, it was good to get out of there Thursday with the win, given the circumstances of what happened with Kendrick and kind of the situation you were put in. But then you move into yesterday, and Katie was a day to day. We didn't know if he was gonna suit up or not. Rumors kind of started flying that Alo and Malcolm were going to give it a go. So that was good to have them back, which they did. And then videos come out like an hour before, and Kendrick's out there shooting around. So you're like, I mean, I know you and I both thought he was going to suit up. I was pretty surprised yesterday when he didn't. To me, I know he was in pain on the ground, but watching it back later when I'd got home, it really wasn't like a full roll of the ankle. Sure. And even Penny was like talking about it post game and later on in different forms that it was a low grade, like he just tweaked it, which is what he's done earlier in the year, right? Like he tweaked his ankle. He's talked about when he does that, it gives him severe pain in his foot. And on a night to night basis, it's just like whether or not he can tolerate it. In the previous games, several of them, he was able to tolerate it and he came back in. So to me, I was also thinking like, maybe it is a little more painful tonight. He feels like we can win this game against UCF without him. He just wants to be extra cautious because he really wants to play that Houston game back at home in front of friends and family. Like maybe he's just taking some precaution, just going to sit out the rest of the night, try to get a little extra, rest before Houston. So I definitely thought he was going to play. He ended up not playing. And that first half was ugly, real ugly. And not
Houston loved it though.
Not ugly in a sense that we just like mucked it up for both teams. Like it was ugly.
Yeah, it was. I think Houston probably loved the first half because that's kind of the basketball that they want to play, right? It's inefficient for one team. They're not really the high. Well, I guess they do. They score more now than they have in the past. I think they do a pretty good job of putting up points, but it's not like the highest in the American or anything. I think we've touched on that.
I think
before.
they're third. It's like, it was us. I think Tulane jumped us after these last 2 games where we've scored 64 straight both times. But, I mean, the first half was rough, right? Penny said without KD, they were going to try to have to muck it up. You didn't really know how much you were going to get out of Alex and Malcolm. We had heard that Alex had practiced some earlier in the week, so at least he'd been like fully practicing. Malcolm, I don't think, had practiced and definitely hasn't cardio wise. So you're like, what is maybe 10 minutes out of him, right? Like,
Sure.
But Alex ended up playing I think 30. But that first half, we had 14 turnovers, I think, in the first. Like, we were just so ineffective. We couldn't pass the ball. We couldn't inbound the ball. We couldn't do anything. And Houston was I feel like they were playing at just a different pace than we were defensively and effort level. Not that our guys weren't playing hard. It was just like Houston looked much faster. Like, I don't know. They were just playing with such intensity. And I think at first it just kind of like rattles you, right? Like if you're not accustomed to that. But they went into halftime and came back out in the second half and put up a fight. So I'm going to applaud them because that was a damn valiant effort without your best player and your point guard in Kendrick yesterday.
Yeah, it seemed like Houston knew without Kendrick they could be a little more aggressive on defense and get some pokes and kind of steal the ball away. Because, we touched on it. Memphis doesn't really have that natural ball handler. I guess Alo is back now, but outside of Alo,
he doesn't even look. I mean, and I know Penny said
it's not the same. No,
he looked 70 to me.
Yeah, it's still not the same.
I mean, he hasn't played. He even looked like he was
games.
Maybe limping to timeouts at time. Not full on limping, but you know what I mean. Like was feeling.
Sure.
He looked slower ish.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, he wasn't even. They were picking on DeAndre because I think they knew that without Kendrick, everything has to go through DeAndre. It's kind of obvious. It's just the pecking order for Memphis basketball.
Yeah,
and I think that was obvious too, right? You're asking a guy in DeAndre who's not entirely too familiar with controlling the ball a lot of the times, and I have lost count the number of times he just tossed the ball into the post, and
it's not even.
It was never open.
It's the whole, and DeAndre does do it a lot, and it happened multiple times at the end of the UCF game too.
At UCF, yeah,
the damn soft lob entry passes into the post. They don't work. Why do we keep doing it? There were literally, I know 2 at the end of the UCF game, and then probably 5 or 6 yesterday in the first half.
Yeah,
where we just kept doing. We did it on inbounds from the baseline. It doesn't work. It's like the
timing is always off. Yeah.
Well, and it's like they throw it thinking like a defender's not going to do anything to defend it. Like they think that I'll throw this and they'll just let him catch it and then play defense. It's like,
yeah,
you threw the softest possible lob pass. Like, of course they're going to try to jump up and deflect it or enter. Like, I don't know. I cannot stand that lob entry pass. I don't want to see another one ever again.
That I think that was actually probably the most frustrating thing of the game is that one specific, that one specific incident where he would just kind of loft tough, like just the light lob. It just drove me nuts. I don't know. It was just you said 5. That is probably more than that, honestly. But
I mean, you go in the half down 11, you turn the ball over 14 times. I'm not going to lie. I thought we were about to get run out of the gym. And I talked about it going into the game. Everybody had said, rest KD, you don't need him. A loss at Houston's not going to kill you. I played a little bit the other side because a win at Houston literally was the best possible win that anyone in the country can get, the number 1 net team. So that would do, I mean, you win that game and you're locked into the tournament, given the timing of it. I mean, at this point in the year, like, especially, I mean, if they'd been able to do it without Kendrick, 100% you're locked in. Yeah. But that was always my concern was like, I get it, rest guys, whatever, you can take a loss here, but you can't take a loss by 40, which Houston has done. They beat teams by 40.
Yeah.
Now Kelvin Penny have a good relationship. So I didn't think Coach Sampson was going to do that to us really, but
I don't know.
I think given the circumstances, I mean, that's a heck of a result yesterday. They battled their asses off in the second half. You cut it to 4, you cut it to 5 and had the ball multiple times in the last 3 minutes. Like, I mean, just a heck of an effort after getting down. I think we were down 13 in the first half. The line for the game was 13 and a half, and you were almost down 14 at halftime.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, we've talked about him already, but of course, DeAndre had a good game. He's going to. I mean, he's 42 years old. He's playing a man against boys, essentially. He should continue to do this, right? I think that he's been on a tear lately, and there's nothing that if he can do it against Houston, literally no one on the schedule should be able to stop him, right? Yeah. But where I was going was Elijah McCadden again. Not necessarily
huge yesterday.
Yeah, and it wasn't like he was hitting 3 after 3 or doing something that was maybe uncharacteristic of him. I think he went 1 of 3 from 3, which is about on par for what he is as a shooter. But
that's all you need.
Just hitting. Yeah, and it wasn't just that; it was hitting the free throws. It's the same thing against UCF. Just when you get to the line, no, he did okay. He did okay.
He did above 50%. He missed some,
which is
at the end of the game.
Okay, what's his percentage, though? I mean, he is not a great free throw shooter, so he did exactly what you would expect him to do.
Yeah. No, I get you. He ended up with 20 and 6. A heck of a game. Played 36 minutes, the most on the team. Stepped up. He's a freaking – I tweeted this the other night. He's an elite. He may be the best cutter in all of collegiate basketball. The dude knows how to cut to the basket and be open for a layup.
Yeah.
Like elite. He is cutter. The Cutco if there's an NIL deal out there, Cutco, you guys need to sign Elijah McCadden because the dude cuts everything.
It's pretty cheesy. That's almost as bad as saying dynamite or something like that. I'll tell you who did not have a great game was Keontae. We've been big fans of Keontae for a while now. He's really been that second, third guy, and yeah, he did not have a great game.
Only 2 points. He did have 4 steals yesterday, though. 2 points, 2 boards, 0 of 3 from 3, which is very surprising because you know what? Do you know who leads the conference in 3-point shooting percentage? It is no longer Landers Nolley II.
Is it Keontae Kennedy?
It is yours truly.
That's a lucky guess.
It's not me. It's Keontae Kennedy. He is at 45.5%. Landers is down to 43%.
There's a volume difference there, though, right? I mean, I think we should take that into consideration. Yeah. I mean, Landers is pulling up 6 a game at least.
Yeah, Landers has taken 97 threes to Keontae's 55.
Yeah.
So Landers is averaging three made threes a game, and Keontae's averaging 2. I'll take it, though. Keontae and Kendrick are averaging exactly the same amount of threes, 1.92 a game. Very interesting. Speaking of Landers, shout out to Cincy getting the win yesterday. Hopefully they bump up a little bit. I don't think they got all the way up there today, but they can win a couple more, might get them up back to a quad 1 for us.
I think this was kind of quiet now that I'm looking at it. Did you know Alex had 7 rebounds? He didn't score anything, but 7 boards.
I saw yesterday that he led the team in rebounds, which is impressive.
No, welcome back.
I will say, looking at the team statistics, you shot basically even with them from the field. You shot 40% from 3 to their 17. And they shot a little bit better from the free throw line. Well, a lot better. Almost 90%. But you
That's actually the story.
Them. You had more offensive rebounds than them. Assists were even. They had a little more steals. It was really turnovers and free throws probably.
Yeah, I would say those free throws were the biggest difference maker. I mean, they got to the line more, but they also hit them, right? They had their efficient guys. I mean, what was it? 8 and 9 from Roberts, 8 of 8 from Sasser. Like, that would be real nice to have.
Yeah. I mean, they shot 20% better than they shoot typically. They're like a 70% free throw shooting team and shot 90% yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll just say, like, that's twice now. That's 2 number 1 seeds that you've gone on the road and had a chance to win at the end of the game. Like, you were in the
Yeah.
game. I mean, we talked about earlier, we were down 5 with 3 minutes left. Elijah missed a couple free throws that could have made it a 3 or 2 point game. J-Law, unfortunately, missed that sort of up and under layup.
That was frustrating.
DeAndre was 2 of 2 from 3 on the day and had an open 3 at the top of the key, which I feel like most of the time he takes that 3. He ended up trying to drive and then get his 5th foul. So he fouled out for the first time in a while yesterday. But, I mean, you were a couple of possessions away and twice from winning at 2 different number 1 seeds. I also saw this today on Twitter. We scored the second most amount of points in a half against Houston this year. 43 in the second half yesterday. The first most was Alabama, put up 44.
Alabama,
on
yeah.
them. Yeah.
Oh.
And to do that without Kendrick.
Yeah, and
impressive.
Look, I mean, what are we talking about? We've praised him literally the entire time. Like, you lost by what? Was it 8?
Yeah, ended up being 8.
Yeah. An 8-point game. You don't have your best player. You were supposed to lose by 13. I don't think you could have asked for a better game without Kendrick, honestly. And, you know, we started this off with talking about there's no such thing as a bad loss or a good loss. And I would say this is a good loss. I mean, I think.
Everything agrees with you. So going into yesterday, Lenardi, just from a bracketology, he said a Memphis loss moves them into last 4 in. Well, given the circumstances and what happened, you look at it today, we're number 1 in the last 4 buys. We are 1 spot from being comfortably in the tournament and off the bubble after a loss yesterday. You look at KenPom, and immediately after the game, we bumped up 2 spots. We're sitting at 35th today. So just even from like a metric and resume standpoint, like it was, yeah. I don't want to say it's a good loss because I don't think losing is good, but it was in all other aspects a good loss.
Yeah. I mean, look, if Kendrick was there, he'd have been cooking them Chef Boyardee style. Like, it would have been a closer game. I'm not going to say we're going to win outright, but I think Kendrick can come up with 8 points, perhaps. Right? I think he can make up for that.
I mean, it obviously is probably going to be a different game.
Sure. Yeah.
But it definitely felt like if Kendrick had played yesterday, that was a game that we could have won in Houston. So it makes you think, come what, March the 5th in FedEx Forum, you have a fully healthy Tiger squad.
Yeah.
The Rackus crowd, like, it feels like that's a game you should win on your home floor, or you have a real possibility to win that game to close the year out.
And just fingers crossed his ankle isn't looking like a can of busted biscuits or anything like that when it comes to that game. That'd be great.
See. They say it's still day to day. We'll jump into it. We got 2 games this week. Thursday, Wichita State. I will say this. I think you need Kendrick to play on Thursday. I'm not going to feel real good about going up to Wichita without Kendrick and trying to pull out a dub on the road.
I don't know. They almost lost to SMU.
I know that. They have a horrible home record, actually.
Yeah.
They are like.
It's weird, right?
They're 7-7 at home.
They're not a good team. I mean, they're not a great team. I guess they're okay. I mean, they're kind of like us, right? They play some teams closer than they should, and then they lose to teams that they have no business even getting close to, right? I mean, Houston was a 9-point loss, even though it was at Wichita. You know, we just talked about them not being great at home. I guess that's one you can lose.
They just won by 14 at Temple.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But that's an anomaly, though.
I don't know if you
They
can do that.
also allowed 89 points to SMU, and SMU's dog water.
But that's in
You
2
lost
overtimes.
75 to Tulsa.
Yeah, that Tulsa loss is bad.
I mean, oh, I thought they lost to ECU, but they did not.
No, they didn't. No, they
Who
didn't lose
lost
to
to
Tulsa
ECU?
either.
Someone lost to ECU
Uh,
recently.
this weekend,
Maybe it was Cincinnati. I don't remember now.
Cincy lost to ECU.
Yeah, terrible loss.
I mean, but yeah, get like people talked about it. You can afford a Houston loss. You cannot afford a Wichita State loss or a
No,
loss Sunday at home to Cincinnati, which will obviously, I mean, that's not gonna be a cakewalk at all. Them coming
I
in
agree.
here, I think Landers returning to FedEx Forum, but you got to take care of Wichita State first. Ken Palm's got it a 5-point game. They're 114 in Ken Palm, and they are 120 in the net. So this would be a quad one opportunity for them. They are currently 0-5 in quad one, and they are 1-2 in quad two. So they are 1-7 in quad 1 and 2. You can't lose that game.
So with where you're at
Actually,
now,
this wouldn't be quad one. We're not top 30. It's quad 2 for them.
yeah, 36. Is that what it was? 36, 35?
30s. I think it's 30 for a home game.
No, I'm saying, what are we?
We're 41.
Okay. For some reason, I thought we moved up. So where you're at now, let's say with the loss to Houston, and you win every game but Houston, are you still in? Despite however the conference tournament plays out.
Yeah.
You feel comfortable?
Yeah. The bubble is very weak
Yeah.
this year. Teams around us are losing left and right. I think you win Wichita State, you beat Cincy, you beat SMU, and even if you lost to Houston last game of the year, I think you're still in.
Okay. What if you lose to Cincinnati?
And then lose to Houston?
Yeah. That puts you on the fence, right? I mean, not on the fence as in the bubble. I mean, like on the bubble of the bubble.
Yeah, that's tough. Especially it being a home game.
You can't, that's like, you obviously can't afford SMU because they're not good.
So bad.
Yeah, they're not good. You definitely can't afford that one. But I think Cincinnati, although they're fringe. They're like a
Cincy
fringe
makes
good
it
team,
tough. I think if you lost a close Cincy game and then you still make the American Championship, I think you're in. I think you're in by the skin on your chinny chin chin.
Yeah.
I don't have any skin on my teeth, but the chin skin, I think you're in. But say you lose to Cincy, lose to Houston, and then lose to Tulane in the semifinals, I don't know that you're making it. You might be a 1 seed in the NIT. But I don't know. I haven't looked at the metrics to look at that. All I know is right now we're pretty comfortably in.
Why the hell do we say by the skin of your teeth? What is that? You just like shook my head.
You said
with
we.
that.
I didn't say that.
Well, we is in like people. That is like an actual like idiom. That's a phrase out there.
I don't know.
Why do we say that?
Skin of your teeth origin.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
It's actually
from the Bible. The phrase first appears in English. It says in Job 19:20. It's in original Hebrew, so I can't read it. But it does, in fact, I escaped with the skin of my teeth is essentially what it says. Yeah, I got nothing. That's a weird as hell statement to make, but
did not know that.
Yeah, look at that. Those aren't my words, man.
Well,
anyway,
I think you're in by the hair on your chinny chin chin. All right. In order to beat Wichita State, rebound the basketball.
Yeah. Make your free throws.
Second chance. Yeah. Make the free throws.
It's the key to every game, right?
Don't let them get hitty hot from three, and you should be fine.
Yeah,
I'll be nervous. I want Katie to play, even if it's in a limited. That's fine. Play him limited, but I think he needs to play.
Yeah, I feel like I can't tell if it's a good thing or a bad thing that the road to success is the same thing every game, right? Rebound, make your free throws. The rest kind of falls into place. Like,
Well, that's
just
just
focus on
basketball.
those two things.
That's just
Well,
basketball.
I know. It seems like a cop out to say it, but it just feels so true with this team because
They are horrible at threes, by the way. 345th in the country at 3-point percentage. If they get hot from three, we don't
they
deserve
have
to.
Jaquan Walton. I think that's really the only dude. I don't even know what his percentage is, but I'm trying to think of anyone on the roster other than him. Okay, anyone else?
Yeah.
Perhaps that's bad on me, but I'm not worried about freaking Wichita State, dude. What are we talking about? Garbage.
I just don't.
It will be
all I'm
closer.
saying, if we were at full strength, I wouldn't even think twice about it. And maybe I shouldn't still anyway, given how they played the second half yesterday. They know
What's the
what's
spread
on
on that
the
one?
line. There's not a spread yet, but Ken Palm has it as a 5-point game, so I'm assuming it'll be around 6.
Around that. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, Jaycon
Yeah.
Walton shoots 39% from three, and then Craig Porter Jr. shoots 33. Those are the really only two dudes. I mean, Flanagan shoots 39 also, but
One attempt a
is he
game kind
out?
of thing.
I think he may be hurt. He's only played 16 games. No, that's that dude. That's the walk-on dude, isn't it? The little dude that went off on us the first game.
I don't know.
There was somebody. Who am I thinking about? I don't know.
I keep picturing Austin Reeves. I don't know why. Obviously not him.
Picturing who?
Austin Reeves, dude. Pride of Arkansas. He played for Wichita State like what feels like 5 years ago. We sat next to his parents and they were just yelling for him the entire time.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Cincinnati. What do you think?
I think
Say it.
it's the same. I like it. I mean, it's at home. Landers comes back. I think he tries to do too much.
Sure.
Which, if anybody tuned in to the Cincy UCF game on Sunday before our game, coming down the wire, Landers had a turnover. They ended up getting the ball tied game, and Landers comes down and literally starts waving his team off to go ISO, and Wes Miller immediately called a timeout. Drew up a play for DeJulius at the top of the key, and he hits a floater to win the game. So I'm hoping we come in Sunday and we get ISO Landers.
Please.
Give it to me. I'll take it all day.
Please.
But no, I think it's the same. I think it's you come out, make them play the same way you played in Cincinnati. You you don't let Landers, you don't let Davenport, you don't let DeJulius get their looks from three. You make them force it inside to Lacken and see if that dude can beat you.
Yeah,
because he couldn't the first time around. Why?
He still scares
7-1.
Yes,
who cares?
It's just a mismatch. I guess Malcolm's back, so you kind of get some help.
He's not beating us by himself. He had 22 and 10 the first game. Didn't matter.
I will say I am the opposite from you. I am more worried about Cincinnati than I am Wichita State, and that's just because of they have older players, more seasoned players, I should say, in that instance. So you just never know, right?
I'm sure the Cincy game will probably be a tougher game, but especially like Micah Adams-Woods only had 2 points at first. He was 1 of 10 from the field. I don't think that's happening again.
No.
And honestly, let's be real, they're probably not shooting 25% from three again.
Probably not. Who are you putting on Landers? Alo's back, so I don't know if that changes things.
I don't think you can put Alo on him. I mean, it's got to be Elijah, right?
Elijah or Keontae, yeah. Trying to think.
Did we talk
Elijah's
about
the
this?
size.
It happened the other day. Keontae at the end of games didn't really see the floor.
Yeah, I noticed that. Was it yesterday?
It happened. It's happened more than once, but yeah. Most recently, yesterday.
I wonder. You think he's getting burnt on defense? Penny's pulling him.
I don't know.
Penny
What
seems like a dude who likes
that. He's
effort.
rolling with Jonathan down the stretch. So.
Oh yeah, because for Jonathan's defense, I think that was the statement. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to shit on Jonathan. You and I are big proponents of Jonathan. Hell, he threw that wild scoop pass to DeMaria to win the game, essentially. So, play Jonathan.
Tap pass.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, what do you want to call that?
Ooh, my parlay just hit. TJ, that's a bet win for me.
It's about time. You've been losing.
No, I won yesterday. I took us plus 13.5.
Okay. All right. So we don't know the line on Cincinnati.
We do not know the line. Kim Palm's got it as a 6-point game.
I thought that was for Wichita.
Wichita's 5.
Okay.
So 75-70, Wichita's 66% chance to win, 79-73, 71% chance to win with Cincy at home. So they're actually saying that Cincy will be the easier game.
No, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I'm wrong at this all the time. I'm going to say Tigers beat Wichita by 9. And I think the Cincy's probably like a 4-point win. Something like that.
Is that 4-point? We get a couple big plays at the end, or 4-point? They kind of hit some threes late and cut it to 4. That's what it feels like to me. It feels like it's like a 9-point game, and then they hit a couple threes late, and it's like we're in one of those situations where like, oh gosh, not again. But then we end up pulling it out.
Yeah, I love those. Right? Those are fantastic.
With Kendrick out, who are you asking to shoot free throws at the end of the game?
You still think he's out, or are you just asking like?
I'm just asking
hypothetically.
Out, like, who would you do? Wichita State Thursday. Kendrick is sitting out. Is it Alo? And I know that's who Penny's gonna make it be, but is that who you would have?
No, hear me out. I'm gonna take Jonathan Lawson a foot behind the stripe.
We did notice that the other night.
Why do you shoot so far back, my man? Next time
JL, JL, if you're listening, we know you are. I said you shot some that were hitting back iron, so you took a step back, and now you're Drano. So if that's the truth, could you just let TJ and I know? That's at TJ from Twitter or at TLasley20. Just let us know if that's the reason why. But we did notice, my man, you're standing pretty far back the charity stripe there.
It's the long arms, you know. I don't know who I would pick because we don't really have the best of free throw shooters. I need to see a recent free throw percentage chart. I need to see recent metrics, like last 5 games, and I could probably make an assumption.
Off the top of my head, I want to say Keontae, but he doesn't play in late game situations, and I guess DeAndre maybe, but it feels like he's missed some. Keontae's not good at free throws, so not Keontae.
No, Keontae's fine. Jaden, surprisingly,
79%. Throw Jaden up there.
Jaden's surprised. I mean, he doesn't get a lot of attempts, but he makes them when he's there. I think that's probably without Kendrick, that's probably your most consistent. I mean, Alo's obviously the choice, but we're trying to think outside the box here.
What, you don't want flat palmed KO?
No, that confuses the hell out of me, if we're being honest. I don't understand. There is no flex.
It's a flick of the wrist. I mean, dude, you remember light as a feather, stiff at his board? That dude's hand is as stiff as a board when he is shooting a free throw. Literally, the ball is sitting. Hold on.
Or like this long. Like, we've lost Trey, folks.
No, this is a live demonstration.
All right, let's see it.
I mean, we saw it up close.
There's
the
no
other night.
cupping, and there's no
Nothing.
flex to the hand, and
You
it
want it?
confuses
Look,
me.
KO, if you're watching, get a little flexion. Be athletic with it, my guy. Grab that ball. You don't want it. We're not doing this. Anyway,
I don't know. Maybe they're working on it.
Jaden's the answer.
Like,
Hey, his free throws have gotten better though. He made 2 straight the
KO?
other night. Yeah.
Yeah. He was definitely somebody every time he got fouled. I'm like, what are we doing here? You guys are just taking a break at this point.
Yeah. No, he's getting better.
It's definitely getting better.
All right. So we talked a little bit about where we stand bracketology. I was gonna fight Lenardi when he said a loss at Houston would drop us into last 4 in, or last, yeah. But if Houston had lost, they would just drop from the number 2 overall seed to the number 3 overall seed. So I was like, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And then today, the dude bumped us up 2 spots. So I'm not going to fight Lenardi anymore. From a Jerry Palm perspective, I think he's got us a 10 seed playing Providence, maybe. Hold on.
I think it's
Jerry's got us a 10 seed playing Providence in Des Moines with Baylor as the 2. I don't want to be a 10. I kind of
be with Baylor.
I don't want to be with Baylor either. I think obviously for this to happen, you would have to probably lose the Houston game, but you know what seed line I don't mind at all?
What's that?
The 11 seed.
No, they typically upset the 6. Is that what it is?
Yeah, but you also
12.
get a 3 seed instead of a 2. And I feel like we're better than an 11 seed. We've lost we have 7 losses by a combined less than 30 points. It's like 28 points or something. And I'll tell you what, I sent you this earlier today. EvanMaya.com, who is a PhD statistician, ran his first bracket simulation today. Got the Tigs as an 11 seed, making it to the Elite 8.
Booyah, boy.
Sign me up for that. I will sign
me up for that bracket
right now. Right this second. So he's got us the 11 seed, actually, which I would like to be an 11 seed, but I don't want to be in the play-in game.
Yeah.
He's got us 11 playing Mississippi State in the play-in, but if we win,
that would be fun, though.
Sorry, DJ. Then beating the 6 seed San Diego State, beating the 3 seed Kansas State, beating the 7 seed Providence in the Sweet 16, and then get this. If this really happens, we're making the Final Four, but losing to Rutgers in the Elite 8, which is not
losing
happening.
to Rutgers. No. Sorry, Brian.
if that bracket happens and we are playing Rutgers in the Elite 8, we are going to the Final Four, and we will have potentially the 4th game against Houston in Houston.
Wow.
How lame is that? That they're going to be a 1 seed with the Final Four in Houston. That's so stupid.
At home? Yeah. So this kind of spins off.
Should be illegal.
This kind of spins off that. But Jeff Goodman had a pod release earlier where he asked, is Penny the right guy for Memphis, or right guy at Memphis for the future? What are your feelings on that statement?
I mean, who else are you getting?
No, I mean, I am someone who's bounced back and forth on this for the longest time ever. I'll be honest. It's the same thing. Like, you lose some games you shouldn't have, but then you are competitive in games that perhaps you probably shouldn't be. Questionable things that, like, maybe I just disagree with. But I mean, we've gotten to the tournament. Things are looking good this year. I think it's kind of hard to make a call and say that, like, hell no, move away from Penny. Like, it's so hard to make that call right now. I don't know who you would hire. You're about to have Ole Miss open. You're about to have
which They think Penny's a possibility.
No, he's
Get out
not.
of here.
That's Chris Beard, right? This is beside the point. That's Chris Beard, right? Anyway, so
I don't know.
Memphian, local Memphian, Doc Holliday. Everybody knows Doc. Doc goes at him, comes right at Goodman's throat. Love it. So he came back. I'm trying to read the tweet itself, where Jeff Goodman said, Memphis fans are okay with potentially going to the tournament, going to one tournament in 5 years and winning one NCAA tournament in 4 years. Is that a fair statement?
I mean, it's
yes,
factual.
it is factual, but I think that's
but
ignoring
I don't
the
think
fact that it was ran
I don't
into the
think
ground
keeping
beforehand.
Penny means that you're okay with that.
Sure.
I don't think anybody's okay with. I mean, yes, we've underachieved given the talent he's brought in. There's also been some outstanding circumstances that have played into this, but
sure,
you gotta. I have to remind myself too, like, he's a first-time head coach. This is literally the 5th year he has coached college basketball. Like,
yeah,
it's going to take him a little bit to implement his culture and figure things out. He's learning as he goes. And you can see that it's evident in different things. But
sure.
I think it all boils down to, like, I mean, who's better fit for the job?
Yeah.
He's getting talent. He knows basketball. He's capable of coaching kids to be elite defenses. We've seen that. Offensively, this was a team that people worried about offensively coming in the year, and here we are, like, the best offense in the conference. Like, I just don't know who else would be a right fit.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's hard to hold the one tournament in 5 years thing over his head, right? I mean, that James Wiseman, Precious Achua team, like, had you had that whole team the entire year, like, there's no telling where you would have ended up, right?
Yeah.
Now, granted, to your point, the circumstances, kind of extenuating circumstances, kind of play a part of that, but I do think you have to hit a road of consistency. Not that I think Penny would get fired by any means, right? I think his long-term goal is probably the NBA. It's just an
He's
NBA
leaving
guy.
on his terms.
Exactly. He will leave on his terms. And we'll just kind of see how this thing plays out. And we'll cross that road when we get there. But this is just Goodman being Goodman, right? I think that's what we can chalk this up as.
I mean, look, am I happy being in one tournament in the first 4 years? No. But that also doesn't mean that I don't think that Benny's not the future of the basketball program. Like,
yeah,
I can see improvements. I can see his teams getting better. Like, yeah, am I frustrated we haven't won the conference yet and we play in a 2-bid league? Yeah. Am I frustrated we've had 2 number 1 classes and didn't do anything but win one NCAA tournament game? Yeah. But he's also only in his 5th year of coaching, so shit happens.
Beautifully worded, my man.
Jeff Goodman's a freaking goober. Don't ever come on here and read a Jeff Goodman tweet to me ever again.
Well, that was more so to incite conversation because I think it is a good question, right? I think that if you were to ask some Tiger, I think if you ask some Tiger fans, they would say, like, hey, Penny's underachieved. Like, is this really the guy that
even debatable? Like, he himself has said that he's underachieved. Like, if you're debating that we've underachieved in the last 4 years, you're just lying to yourself. Like,
sure,
we've had 2 number 1 overall. That's not number 1 in the conference. That is number 1 in the country recruiting classes, and essentially beat Boise State. And then I know some people are pumped up because we barely lost to Gonzaga, but, like, you shouldn't have been playing Gonzaga in the second round, given the team that you had. You should have been a top 3 seed last year. So I think it's okay to be not okay with only one tournament appearance and say that we've underachieved, but also still support Penny and think that he's the right guy for the job.
Yeah, I would agree.
Nothing football now, but tomorrow.
What day is tomorrow?
Tuesday.
They don't know what today is.
February 21st, the schedule will be released. So next week, TJ, we'll have a little bit of a schedule to look at for football. We are not far from spring ball either.
We are not far. Give me one of these things right
We're
now.
we're like a month from spring ball.
Can't reach it. Never mind. We're good. Can't reach it.
TJ's trying to get his helmet.
I am. It's football season.
Hey, shout out
Mm.
to the Diamond Tigs. Can you not get that?
That went south real quick. You can't hear me probably.
I can hear you.
You can't hear me?
I can.
You can hear me?
Yeah. You couldn't get that helmet.
Say
on
a
your
word.
head? What?
You can hear me? I can hear you.
Yes. I don't know if you can hear me or not.
We're good now.
I just said shout out to the Diamond Tigs, by the way.
Oh, that was a good game.
Coach Jackson started out 2-0.
Couple games.
They didn't get the seasons or the series sweep yesterday, though. Dropped the third and final game to Samford, but shout out to Eric Jackson and the Diamond Tigs.
Yeah, man. I don't know how much people follow Memphis baseball just because it's been rock for so long. And I think people got super burned out on rock and just not being good at baseball. But Eric Jackson seems like just the dude. Like I'd like hang out with him personally.
I mean, I kind of want to go play for the baseball team.
Well, I would be awful at that. So I will watch you from the stands as you play baseball. For the Tigers.
We need to get out there. I wanted to go last week, didn't make it, but we need to get out there to FedEx Park.
I want to see the new park. I haven't seen it. So we saw it when like going to football practice and stuff when they were tearing up the field, but they've got like a video board and everything now. It looks super sick.
I will tell you the new field looked fantastic on ESPN Plus the other night.
Yeah.
So
and
at least from the broadcast, it looks good. Oh yeah, those black ones.
Yeah.
Those are pretty.
I know it's going to piss off a lot of people because Tigers wear blue and gray only. Those are the rules, right?
Yeah. Whatever. All right, let's get into this beer.
This is delicious.
It's a classic.
What are we talking about?
You said it. OG. It's a great beer. Drink it all the time. Order at restaurants. I buy 24 packs. My mother-in-law gave me a 24 pack of pints from a party she'd had. What a gift, right? It's a great beer. Very crushable. The crushable scale, it is off the crushable scale. It's a delicious American Pilsner, 4.5 ounces.
Yeah, dude. I mean, what are we talking about here? This is fantastic. I love it.
It is a 8.6.
Beer or can?
That would just be the beer for me.
Okay. It's definitely in the 8s. I would say I'm going to say probably 8. I'm teetering between 8.4 and 8.5 because I really like this beer. Let's say 8.5. I really like this one, so I'm gonna chalk it up 8.5. 8.5.
8.5 and 8.6. I mean, the can's fine.
I like it.
I'll give them credit.
I'm still not sure what's going on.
I'll give them credit for the bomb, though. Because like you said, I've always just grabbed this and never really paid attention to the can. But
wait, that's the wrong way. You guys can't see the bomb, can you? There it is.
Gosh, your TikTok light is reflective off that can. There you go.
Here's the thing. It's not a TikTok light. It's an LED light. So
is it a circle light?
No.
DJ.
It's not. It's technically crescent.
What?
It's a crescent.
Oh, like a crescent moon.
Like a half moon, yes.
It's only half of a circle.
It's bright as hell, dog. I like the can. I don't know what's really going on.
It's a fine can. It's not my favorite can. I'm gonna go 6-7 on the can.
I just wish I knew what was going around the words tiny and bomb. Like, what is all that in the background?
I think it's smoke.
Do you think that's what it is?
Like just the straight. I don't know what all the squigglies are, but I think the big yellow cloud is smoke.
You're talking about around the bomb or around the word tiny bomb?
Around the word tiny bomb.
I look like fish bones at first. I don't know what the hell it is. What did you say on the can? Let me mark that down.
6-7.
6-7. So I thought. I'm probably around that. I'm gonna say like 6-3. I don't know this business. What is all this?
That's what I was saying. I don't know what that
Spaghetti
is.
noodles? Like I don't know what that is. They just make sure there's nothing else in here that plays a part of it that we're not thinking about. Yep. Confirmed. I'm gonna go 6-3 for the can. So that's 6-7 for the can for you, 6-3 for the can for me, 8.6 for the beer for you, and 8.5 for the beer for me, which is, if we did something like a total score, like an average score, that's going to be up there.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever done an average, but that would definitely be up there.
It's a good brew.
I think most would agree.
All right, TJ, that will be a wrap on episode 14 for us. I'll see you on the other side. Come with the cold brew. Stay for the hot takes. Peace.
If you enjoyed this episode of Tigers Untapped, please leave a like and a comment wherever you download your podcasts. Head over to bluffcitynil.com for comprehensive coverage of Memphis Tiger athletics. We will see you back here next week.